everybody. How you doing today? Welcome to our next video we have. It's Bridging Cultures, Building Businesses. I'm Jesse Noriega, the Executive Director of the Greater Quad Cities Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and we have a great one that we've been trying to fit in for quite a while here today, but we got it. So first, let me show you over to my co-host. Let him introduce himself.
How's it going, guys? Emmanuel Juarez, board member of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. And like Jesse said, we got a good one today. We're going to let our guest introduce himself. A lot of you guys might know him, but if you don't, we're going to let him give it a little intro about who he is and what he does and what he's excited about. So take it away, my friend.
All right, so my name is Miguel Rosas. I'm a Quad City native, born right here in Rock Island, Illinois. Lived in Moline for a little while. Now I live in Iowa, but right here from the Quad Cities, born and bred. You know, I love it here. I've been asked plenty of times, why don't you move to a bigger place? Why don't you go to California or how, this and that? And you know what? There's a lot of growth here. I love it here. You know, there's a lot of potential. People will complain that, oh, the Quad Cities, this and that. And I look at it as potential in ways that, there's just a lot of things to take advantage of here, and so yeah, I mean, like I said, from Rock Island, been married for 13 years now, been with my wife for 16 years.
Congratulations.
Got 6 kids, business owner. I started cutting hair at a young age, went to barber college and high school, and once I got into barbering, started my first business when I was 19, 20 years old. I haven't really done anything else since. Well, I've done other things, but it's been hair related, from owning barbershops to starting a barber college. And recently, I wouldn't say so much recently, but recently really been accelerating my real estate portfolio. But I've kind of been messing with real estate since I guess I was about 21 years old.
Oh, nice.
That's when I acquired my first property. But so now I'm just out here finding ways to help other people grow, whether it's in barbering. I like to give advice to younger people to show them that, look, you don't have to come from money. You don't have to be rich. You just need to have potential. You have to be determined and believe in yourself. And that's the things that I try to preach to the younger people so I can help them grow. And that way they could be successful and not think that it's impossible for them to become something of themselves, so.
Yeah, that's great. And especially because, like you said, coming from the Quad Cities, some people, they don't see how they can get out of where they're from, or they think they're stuck in the Quad Cities because they're generationally here, like me, but not because, like you said, I'm not one of those because I couldn't. I choose to, and like you chose to. And I think some people, though, don't think they even have the choice, so I think that's great, letting them know that they have that and giving them the tools, like with the barber college. I mean, I know I go to your barber college and I need to go again and get another haircut. My hair grows too fast, even though I don't have a lot. But you have barbers coming in from all over. I mean, they're making quite a drive every day to come to your school.
We have a student from Kewanee. We have students from LaSalle. A few students that recently graduated from Sterling, Illinois. I actually have 2 students all the way from Fairfield, Iowa. Do you guys know where that's at?
No. They got hit by tornadoes,
That's 2 hours away.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're driving every day 2 hours away to get to school. They'll carpool with each other to kind of help save on gas.
Wow.
But there's even schools like in between from here to Fairfield, but they chose to come to our school because of the reputation, because of the social media, the marketing that we got going on.
Right.
We're posting videos showing like the vibe of the school. That really brings people in, man. So like, it's one of those things that if you own a business and you're lacking in that department, it's like, okay, it's time for you to pick up the slack in that area, because that paints a picture of what you're doing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Shows the customers smiling, the students at work, the haircuts and people graduating, things like that. So it kind of paints that vibe, and it does help to bring people in.
That's awesome. Yeah, well, and speak to that, like a little bit more of you're not just teaching how just to cut hair. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's so much more that they get to learn from you as far as, the marketing side. Like, because if the other places aren't doing that, they don't even get to learn that. And just being able to not just learn how to cut hair, but, okay, hey, I got to market myself like this. Just like I heard of new styles from way out here to make them make that drive. I think that's a big plus besides just cutting hair that you're teaching them. There's so much more. That's a big benefit.
Yeah, we teach them to, like, number one is connect with your client. You know, you're not just here to sell a product. You know, the haircut's the product. You're here to, what is it that you're going to do during that conversation, during that service, that's going to make that client want to come back to you besides the haircut?
Right.
What kind of connection did you build? Did you ask him about his day? Did you ask him where he works, who he knows? Does his kids play sports? You know, things like just certain things that you can do to connect, because as you start conversating, all of a sudden you're laughing, they're laughing. And when two people laugh together at the same time, that is energy that is melting together.
Yeah.
That's that connection. And that's what makes you have that moment, like in the movie Step Brothers. Like, do we just become best friends? That's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. So I tell my students, man, connect with your client. Don't just sit there all quiet. I get you're trying to concentrate on cutting the hair. Like, I get that, right? But it's after a while, I'll kind of look over and I'll see, like, they're real quiet. I'm like, hey, you have to talk. And then they start sometimes like, oh, I don't know what to say. I'm like, just ask them anything. Hey, what's your favorite food to eat? What's your favorite restaurant in the Quad Cities? Or are you going on vacation soon? And just, where do you work? Or, oh, so you were in the military? What was the what did you see over there? What kind of things did you experience? Just anything. And especially like with the older guys that were like, military vets, they love talking about the foreign women they may have encountered with, or, hey, well, I'll say, well, hey, you got some kids over there you might not know about. Oh, I don't know about that, and then just to kind of, but so yeah, we teach them, how to connect with their clients, because that's super important, because you want obviously repeat clientele. Teach them about, take some pictures of that haircut.
Yeah.
Even if you don't think it's a haircut that you're going to post, take a picture of it, because your client thinks it's that nice. Oh wow, he's really taking a picture of my haircut.
Yeah.
It's little things that go a long way, but even if you decide to post the picture, that's marketing for yourself. So take a picture, because now you got a portfolio. You can, start your Instagram page, or do TikToks, or, post it on Facebook, because you're going to need proof of your work. So yeah, we're constantly just showing them different little things they can do, how to make small videos. Like, I don't know if you guys heard of CapCut. CapCut's a really nice little platform that you can upload your videos to. And they even have templates now, like an already pre-made video. It'll tell you, like, the video is 25 seconds long and all you need is 8 clips. And so you hit use template, and all of a sudden it'll pop up, like, all these little different boxes pop up where you just slide the pictures or the videos into those boxes, and then you hit next, and then boom, there's the video. It shows you the video. It has music where the pictures are popping in with the beat of the song that's in the video.
Yeah. And
then you upload it. It's super easy. We're trying to just uplift them in any kind of way besides just their haircuts, you got to sell yourself,
Right.
And then we'll have classes on, showing them how to, about a little bit about taxes and business and things like that. But I just say, look, you don't need to be an accountant. Hire an accountant.
Right.
You don't need to know how to do taxes. You just kind of need to understand how it works for organizational reasons. You know what I mean?
Right.
Other than that, let them do their job and just take it to them.
Yeah. Well, and also you got your micropigmentation, correct? Is that it? Yeah. I mean, so you have that there. I know you teach and you do. I seen you do seminars traveling all around doing that. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the scalp micropigmentation, for anybody that doesn't know what that is, it's like the scalp tattooing, where you're tattooing little dots on the scalp to make it look like they have hairlines, or for people whose hair is thinning, it makes their hair look full because it creates a shadow on the scalp to make their hair look more full. I don't actually teach that at the school though. I kind of just teach that on the side. So I'll create a landing page for it, and then I'll just boost it. And when people click on it, there's a form they have to fill out, and then it sends me leads to a CRM. And so for anybody that might not know what a CRM is, it's pretty much it's like a funnel that I can have that landing page on TikTok, Instagram, Google Business, Facebook Business. And so if anytime anybody clicks on that from any of those different platforms, it sends everything to me. And then I have a virtual assistant that receives it as well. And usually they're the ones that will interact with the person on that. And then they send me, like, when we got the lead, they're like, hey, Miguel, do you have time on this day or that day? And then I'll set up the appointment to talk to them and stuff like that. But this is all like stuff I've learned from just honestly like YouTube, doing my own research.
Right.
And a lot of people just don't do that. And like when you look around and like when I start telling people about it, they're like, what's that? What? They're like amazed by it. I'm like, well, I just learned this on my own. Like, instead of scrolling all day on Facebook, dude, take a master class at night. Like, not to sit here and act like I've done a lot of those. I've done a few here and there, you know what I mean, where I needed to advance some things I didn't know about, like scissor cutting. So I paid like $200 for some master class, but it was worth it because now I use that at my school.
Yeah, no, that's cool. No, yeah, and I just brought that up because, yeah, I mean, it just shows the expertise and the knowledge that you have that you know, just a lot of places don't, and gives them some opportunities where maybe, you know, obviously they're still learning how to cut hair, but 2 years down the line, they might go, you know what, I want to expand, and I know who to go to, you know, because it's great that you have all that knowledge. And I mean, we won't even get into the portraits and stuff you do in here. I mean, I know you can't just teach that to anybody, but that's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Like one of the things that I offer all the students, like when they graduate, I'm like, look, you know what? Just because you're done, man. Congratulations, you're graduating. But don't think that you can't ever hit me up. Like, I'm your mentor for life now.
Right.
You're not just paying for the course and bye, see ya. I offer like my mentorship to them as well. Like, you call me anytime you want. If you want to start a barbershop, or if you have advice on just creating your logo, or you need help, you don't know what you want to call it. Call me and tell me what's the feel you're wanting, and I'll even help you come up with a name. Like, I like doing that kind of stuff. It's like, I like artwork. So to be able to create something and like, you know, I don't know, create like a wow factor out of whatever. I like doing that. So like, I don't mind helping people out like that. So I offer that myself as well to the students. Is like I said, like mentorship. And I think that's huge because a lot of us need mentors in life. You know, we grew up kind of misguided, maybe didn't have father figures. Some people don't, you know, or you do have a father figure, but maybe your father works so much he don't even have time to talk to you or hang out or show you what you need to know. So to have a mentor is huge. And a lot of young people don't understand, like, you don't have to have necessarily, you don't have a dad in your life or your grandpa, or you can find a neighbor down the street that's doing really well and just go with them, go hang out with them and say, look, this is who I'm going to look up to right here. We're not taught to, hey, find a man, like as a man, find another man or a woman, whatever, right?
Right.
Find somebody that you are inspired by and question them, pick their brain, hang out with them, move the way they move. And that's the outcome you're going to get. I don't think we're really taught to do that. You know what I mean? We're just like, go to college, graduate, or join a union or join, you know, a trade. But like, we need to be taught how to find the person that you want to be like and learn how to gravitate toward them to get that knowledge from them, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I think it would go far.
Yeah.
That's well, they have programs like the Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and things like that.
Junior Achievement. Junior Achievement. But, you know, that's nice that you're doing that on the barber side, because there's not a lot of people that are doing that. Yeah. What would you say the hardest thing is about running your business or being in your industry?
I think it's just like sticking with it. For some people just like have a lot of friends and a lot of family and just like that outgoing personality.
Sure. Where
people just gravitate toward them. And as long as they can learn how to cut hair, it's easy for them. But then you have the guys and the girls, you know, the individuals that are just kind of quiet, don't really have a lot of friends, don't, you know, the vibe, their personality is just not high. It's not, just a different frequency. And that's okay, because they still have they're very artistic. They're very talented with cutting hair. Sometimes I feel like it's a little harder for those individuals to really get a lot of clientele because they're quiet. You have to be outgoing. You have to be more confident. Like if you go to the Walmart and you have business cards, don't be scared to walk up to somebody and say, hey, I noticed you have 3 kids. I'll give you a free haircut. You know, here's a free haircut. Because then it may bring everybody else in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, give them an opportunity to come in,
Right.
meet you, show them your atmosphere, how good you are. And now they may go tell more people. So I think the hardest thing is honestly just getting clientele. But it's usually harder for the people that are kind of not very confident and quiet. And so I would say it's just, you got to stick with it. You know, where like these students are graduating, they're going into a barbershop. The barbershop might not be super busy all the time. So that individual, instead of sitting there and waiting for like a client to walk in, they leave.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got to stay there. Just got to stay there. Stay consistent. Like, don't leave just because, oh, I'm going to go hang out with my girlfriend, take a 2-hour lunch break. Like, tell your girlfriend to tell her to go get some Subway or whatever and come to the shop and hang out with you. Unless you're scared that one of your barbers, the guys are going to try to hit on her. I've seen that, you know, that I'm not bringing my girl here.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's the hardest thing really, man. It's just, is giving clientele, I think.
Would you say, would that be to wearing the different kind of hats that you got to do? Because it's like, I'm sure you start like, okay, I'm going to cut hair. But then there's so many aspects that go into it because now you got to run a business. Now you got to, like you said, you got to learn a little bit of other things. You got to put yourself out there. And then when they're not really used to doing that, you know, like, I want to cut hair, but like, hey, no, there's more to it. You got to open up to people and like I said, try to reel them in.
You got that connection. If I walk up to somebody at a bar and I say, hey, you know what, man, that's a pretty nice haircut. I really like your canvas, the way your hair flows, man. You got nice hair, man. They're, oh yeah, thanks. And they're just like, why is this guy asking? But
Right.
the reason why I'm saying that is because I cut hair, and I know what I would do to your hair, and like I could take some cool ass pictures of that haircut. I'm like, oh really? And like, you know, and it's just like, oh, here's my card, and then we start hanging,
Right.
you know, talking a little bit. I can do that though.
Yeah.
It's easy because it's just kind of more of my personality. But that's what I'm saying. Some people don't have that.
Sure.
And that's what kind of makes it hard for some people. You know, but I mean, and it doesn't mean it's not for them. They may just, they might just belong more in a barbershop that already has a lot of walk-ins coming in, you know, because everybody at the end of the day, like they want to be business owners. Everybody thinks like, I want to be a boss. I want to run my own stuff. Everybody wants that, but not everybody can do it. It's not for everybody.
Right.
And that's just something that people need to understand is like, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5 and going home. Like, you know, you get your paycheck and then you go home and you're not worried about nothing else. You get to worry about your family. You get to spend time at your house. You're not like on your phone making phone calls or like falling in love with anything because you're like worried about what's next, because you know that tomorrow it's there. It's guaranteed there.
Right.
You know, like.
No, that's definitely true. I mean, we see that in all sorts of industries as far as some people get in business because they think that means they can be home most of the day and not realizing that, oh, hey, no, I got to actually get out there and do all this stuff because I had 2 people call in and and they got to get out there and do it all. They don't think that I can only imagine the amount of hours you worked to get to where you are now that a lot of people probably didn't see. And they just think, oh, he's going all over. He's highlighted here. He's traveling to China. He's traveling to this place and he's got a big school and man, he made it look so easy. And I don't think they see the hours.
It's easy, right?
It's easier now, right?
Now.
Kind of. But like what you said, to get there, like, and even before like I met you, I mean, you knew about me, and I don't think I really cut your hair, but you knew about me through the family and stuff like that. I was cutting hair 7 days a week. I was working with I would work with my dad doing concrete work all week long. Okay. And then I would cut hair on Fridays and Saturdays. So from Monday through Thursday, I would work with my dad. Fridays and Saturdays, I'd be working those are only those 2 days that's where I was cutting hair at. Well, Fridays and Saturdays got busy, so I started cutting hair on Sundays. And I wanted everybody to know who I was. So for 1 month, I did $5 haircuts on Sundays. I mean, that's only 4 days, right? 4 Sundays in a month. But I didn't do it for the money. I did it because it was so cheap. I already knew they were going to pour in.
Right.
And it got crazy, right? So then I was like, this one time, this month only. And after that, it was back to $10. That's what I was charging at the time, $10, $12. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday was booked. So then Thursday nights, I told my dad, hey, I got to get out. I'm going to have to start getting out of work at 4. I'm going to go into the barbershop at 4 and work till 8 or maybe 9, whatever, but 4 to 8, right? So then I told everybody, put flyers out. I'm going to work from 4 to 8. So then I was working concrete work. Thursdays I get off with my dad, and I wouldn't go home and shower.
Right.
I had the cement on me, on my arms, and I didn't care. I wanted them to see that. I didn't even want to wipe it off my arm because all my clientele were Hispanic families, the men that come out, and I knew they were gonna respect that. And hair's dusty, didn't care. Men are cutting hair like that, and I'm like, yeah, I work my ass off. That's like that. That pride, that Mexican pride, and they like that, and so anyways, I've had to relocate because it got busy, but 7 days a week, I worked probably 7 days a week for I want to say 3 or 4 years. It made people mad. A wife just didn't like it.
I'm sure.
A couple of times where we had serious arguments. Hey, I don't want to live this way. I want to see you at the house. And it's like, look, this is what I'm doing. This was my journey before I met you. If you want to be a part of what I got going on, you're going to have to adapt to what it is, because eventually it's not going to be like this. But you need to stick around and wait. It's going to happen. And like I said, there was ups and downs, those arguments, conversations, and finally, obviously, things started kind of coming to fruition, and I didn't have to work as hard. But and she just got used to it, I would say, because I still work my ass off. Like, I'm at home, I'm on my phone, checking for leads on different things, or, sometimes till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. It depends. Yeah. Lately, though, since I've turned 40 years old, I really try to figure out ways, I'm trying to figure out ways to, work a little less, to more put certain time aside for, the family. Trying to be home by, 5:30. That doesn't really always work. But when I come home, I try to make, since I have a son now, I put him to bed every night.
There you go.
Around 8:45, 9, me and him go lay down, and I put him to sleep every night. So far, I've probably put him to sleep about at least 75% of the time since he's been born. He's almost 2 years old, so it feels pretty good for me to be able to say that I've done that, because I want to say my first kid, I probably only changed 10 diapers on her. No. And it is what it is, you know what I mean? But, so there's that where you have to adapt to your family. You got to find a balance. That's what I'm trying to say. Because it's you want to be successful and you want to obviously have money and stuff like that. But what does all that mean if you don't have family? Yeah. Your kids, your wife. And if you lose that, what's the point of what you're doing? That's your purpose. You know what I mean? And so then you got to become smart in that. Quit just trying to be the smart guy with finances and the money. You got to be smart with how are you going to balance your house and your family.
So perfect. Yeah. You got to enjoy all the fruits of your labor. You do. You just got to enjoy it. So yeah, like I said, that was all that was good points, because it's people see it and they just think it was overnight or easy, and obviously that's 7 days a week and coming in with concrete on you after working a very hard job all day. It's not like that ain't physically demanding, that's what it
and
takes.
we did it Mexico style, sledgehammers, picos, palas, picks and your shovel. We didn't have jackhammers, and we didn't have
too easy
the machinery now.
Right.
We'd have to replace a driveway, and I'd be out there with a sledgehammer going around busting it to crack it.
Yeah.
And once you got it cracked, then you get a 65-pound bar, and it's got a chisel on the end, and you smash it down and try to hit that crack, and you miss, do it again. And so you finally open a little bit, and then you got to pry it apart, and you go around and do that and pry all the cracks apart. Oh, guess what? This has rebar in it or metal in it. Now I got to go through and cut all that with snips. And once I do that, then I pick it up and put it in the wheelbarrow and wheelbarrow it over the big pile by the dump truck. And once it's over there, then we're throwing it in, keep you in shape.
Right.
And it makes cut hair super easy. Right. You know what I mean? When you do something hard, that hard for a long time, it's like, oh, I could just do this all day. Like, this is nothing.
Yeah, well, it's good to know, and people, to see that, yeah, you're putting in that grind and that work. But what you touched on earlier, though, those mentors, yeah, it's priceless, and us as men and people in general need to really not be afraid to do that. And that's part of, like, when I took over this chamber and became executive director, I wanted to make sure I had people on our team. So as I'm bringing new members in, like Manny, and that people that I can go, okay, you know what? I can learn from this person. I want to, doesn't matter if they're older or younger, doesn't matter if they're in the same industry or not, because having those people that mentorship doesn't mean you're always looking up to that person. Hopefully you can just feed off each other in that, and
Exactly. Like one thing that I really like about Manny here, I would say love about Manny, is his energy. His energy is contagious, and it's like, man, I want to be like that guy.
stop.
No, I'm serious. No, for real.
No,
because that's like I wish I had that. Like it, when I see what you do, and I'm like around you a little bit, and I see how you're talking and how like you're getting the crowd going and just so confident, like that helps me. I
appreciate
I don't just like watch it. I study that. I try to take a little bit of that with me.
I appreciate it.
I mean, I'd like to take it all, but you can't.
Right.
But if I could take a little bit, it's like, hell yeah, that's going to make me better, because I'm in front of crowds sometimes.
Yeah.
And you don't want to sound like monotone or like draining. You want to be always high beat, like up, high frequency and outgoing. And
Like you said, it's contagious.
yeah.
Right. And that's another thing. Like you said, that's a great thing to say. And then even me, myself, I mean, that's why I chose you to be here, man. It's time to give you your flowers. Like, I was like, okay, this ain't my forte. I'm not great at this, but who is?
Right.
That's the man right there, So, I mean, that's the thing, is that, like, I'm mentoring off of you right now. I'm learning from you on how to speak in these things and be presentable, because this was not my forte. I was in an office in my room by myself all day. I was talking to people just on the phone, and it's just a different energy. So, and not everybody has that, whether it's sitting in a barber chair getting your hair cut or even just in business. I know salesmen that just don't know how to talk to people, and it's like, wow, okay, you're lucky you got a good product, because you're not going to sell anything else.
And you got some salesmen that make a lot of money.
Yes.
Because they're just good at talking. Like I'm talking, I know a guy that's probably making $400,000 a year, and he's a little bit younger than me, and you would never know it. But his personality is like,
yeah.
I'm like, dang, bro, you're making doctor money. What? He's like, I'm the youngest guy that works for my company. He's like, they're all older guys, all got gray hair.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's good, man.
No.
I appreciate that, guys. We help build each other, and I think that's why it's important to pick your circles, and people that you hang around with, because you want a little bit of that to rub off on you, and it's the only way it's going to, is by hanging out. And I feel the same way, when we come up, it's like, I just think about, the good times we've had, and it's like, it's the same way, bro. It is contagious. Something about it. It's like that energy makes your energy feel good, and together you're like, bam, what's next? Let's go. Who else can we influence? And who are the other ones that we can maybe rub off a little bit on us, because we're always looking for that, where we feel good and who makes us feel good.
Yeah.
We love that. And, it's exciting to know. It's exciting to know, and that's what we're trying to, do with this. And who else could we bring on? Who else could be a tentacle from our networks and be like, hey, okay, Miguel's your guy. I need you. Call him. He's going to talk to you. Rub off a little bit on him. He's going to rub off on you, and then we move faster. I didn't grow up from here. I'm not from here, so that's kind of.
Yeah, but you grew quick though.
That was
You grew
my
quick, bro.
mentality.
He just came in right, just rubbing his elbows wall with all the right people. Boom.
Some not so great, some really, really great, and I got to who makes you feel good, and then who you're doing that in return to. So that's been my story here, is meeting all kinds of people, and then how can we help? How can we help them? How can they help us? Because it's got to be mutual, It's a two-way streak, and you can't just be taking.
If you want to sit at that certain table, what are you bringing to that table?
Exactly.
You can't sit at a table that's full of filet mignon and Wagyu beef if you're showing up with some ground beef from Quick Star.
Exactly.
You got to show up with something. Right, allow you to sit at that table,
Mm-hmm.
So that's I like how you said that. That makes sense.
But and luckily, you know, not everybody makes the cut, and you kind of get good at sniffing out who's just taking a little bit too much and putting into your time and into your energy. But you know, it's always been great contacts with you and good people, and vice versa. Anybody that you send over this way, and you know, we're like, hey, go with Miguel. He's gonna take care of you. He's gonna cut you right, and you know, he's your guy. So I think that's what we're trying to build, especially for the generations to come, for our people watching, for our people that, you know, maybe want to be in business. It's like we're always able to help. We're always able to teach and be coachable. That's what one of my mentors always said, you know, is like he had just so much wisdom, and he never charged me $1. He says, that's fine, but you got to go. I didn't charge you, right? Okay. The next guy that wants information, you got to help him, but he's got to want it, and he's got to do his own part. But don't you hit that hand, bro, help him out. But he's got to do his own part. You can only help him at the
And that's the crazy thing is that, bro, there's so many people out here that want help. They say they want help. They want answers. They want, how do you do it? I don't understand how you're doing it. It's like, okay, I'll show you. And all of a sudden you call them, or, hey, they're not answering. It's like, they don't want it.
Yeah.
You know, I've come across a couple guys where they just wanted it, and they showed me they wanted it. And so I helped them. I had a kid, I'd been cutting his hair since he was 8 years old. Mom was bringing him in, and he's turned about 12, 13. He was always kind of asking me little questions about different stuff, and real shy, so what do you know, blah, 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 asked me quite while I'm cutting his hair. And as he got older, his questions they started becoming more like interesting. Like the things he was asking me I was interested, the fact that he was curious about ways things he can do to make money or whatever. And I'm like, why don't you start cutting grass in your neighborhood and start saving your money? So he started cutting grass. I said, I cut grass, and I would shovel snow and things like that. And so he started doing that. And when I say he started doing it, like, he didn't just do it sometimes. He was going up and down the neighborhoods and knock on every single door. And then I'm like, okay, well, are you saving? So then he'd tell me, oh yeah, I cut all these different houses today. I'm like, did you get their information? Did you get their phone numbers? And did you say, hey, can we set something up like automatically every week or every 10 days or something? He's like, no, I didn't. I was like, well, you got to do that. He's like, why? I was like, because you need to solidify your next payment. Like, how are you going to get paid again? Like, you need to get something set in stone, and that way you become their client, and you're their man, basically. So then he started doing that. Next thing you know, I said, those are called accounts. Every house that you do, that's a different account. That's what you're going to say. He's like, okay. He's like maybe 13 at this point, maybe. His mom's smiling. She sees us talking. She always, real nice lady. She's a teacher here in Moline. Anyways, I'm like, well, so then I cut his hair. How many accounts do you have now? He's like, I'm up to like 17. I'm like, good. He's like, yeah. He's like, they give me referrals, and I keep getting new ones all the time. And so he's got their names. He's got their numbers. He's got routines and routes. Next thing you know, I'm like, well, you got to get you some T-shirts made with your little logo on there. You got to come up with a name and stuff like that. And by then he's maybe 17, you know, now he's got 30, 40 accounts. Tells me he's, you know, making, I don't know, $300, $400 a week. He's still in high school. He's a sophomore, maybe junior, until, let's just kind of fast forward. By the time he was a senior in high school, I had him set up with an accountant. We got him set up with a credit card, a secure credit card with the bank, so he could start building his credit. He did everything I told him to do. He did it.
Nice.
He didn't take it with a grain of salt. No, as a matter of fact, call the accountant. I'm cutting his hair. He's like, I need an accountant. I'm like, here's the guy. As a matter of fact, call him right now. He's like, really? What do I say? I was like, just call there and say, hey, I'm looking for an accountant. Who do I go to? And he did it, and he got an appointment set up. But anyways, fast forward now, this kid, he was his mom wanted him to join a trade. She was kind of worried because she's like, I want him to go to a trade, but he's so about doing his own thing. I feel like he's going to miss out on, I was like, he's young though. If it doesn't work out, he can still go do a trade. Just like I said, he's special. He's got something most of these young kids like don't have. Let him just ride with it for a while. Trust me. She's like, all right, Miguel, I trust you. You know, he's always looked up to you. This kid now is 19 years old, has, I think he told me he's got about $60,000 in his bank account. He has his own dump trailer, a truck, a couple riding lawnmowers like the 360s. He's doing retaining walls. He's like, I can't even cut grass no more. He says it's not worth my time. He hires somebody $20 an hour to do all the grass cutting for him, so he can make his bigger jobs. I said, what are you pulling in a day now? He's like, I make about $1,000 a day. He's like, I got a job coming up soon. I'm gonna make $9,000 on it. He's 19 years old.
Man.
He does his taxes. He's got good credit. Money saved up in the bank. So the next move that me and him are going to work on, which is going to happen real soon, he's going to start flipping houses.
There you go.
This dude's going to be a millionaire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
You know,
It's crazy that he just listened though. That's what I'm saying though. Like it gives me like, look at it, I got the goosebumps.
yeah.
It like makes my eyes water from like happiness. Like when you listen to somebody who's successful and you have that willingness in you though, you can go far. It takes that like self inner you to say, I'm gonna put all the bullshit aside and I'm gonna go and do exactly what this guy says.
Yeah.
But most people just can't do it.
No.
They don't. There's things that get in the way.
Yeah, and I gotta speak to that because that's an amazing story. This is the first time I've heard that one from me. That's a fabulous story, and kudos to that kid, whoever you are out there. Keep doing.
I don't want to say his name.
No, I get it.
Only because I've talked about how much money he's told me.
Yeah.
I completely get it. But
Keep him anonymous. It's okay.
he'll know who he is. You keep doing your thing.
Keep going, bro. Keep going.
But being here with the chamber and all the businesses that we have invested in us as small businesses, that's a true hurdle and obstacle that we have is getting people to say, hey, we need some help with this, or I don't know how to scale, or I don't know how to start a second or third business, or getting different, and people just don't reach out to us. We got the resources or the people that be like, hey, you know what? I might not know, but I know he does. But they're so afraid to reach out to act like they don't know something. And all of us, I'm sure right here, will tell all you business owners, we don't know it all, and we look to feed off of each other. And
Don't know it all, but
I really wish, that's my plea to you businesses that are out there watching us. Reach out to us. We know people. We've all been through it. We can really help and get you guys going. Yeah, I mean, that's a big, hard thing to do for people to say, hey, I don't know, I need the help. So that kid has, even at 13, had knowledge beyond most adults to actually take it, bring it in, try it, and feed off of that action. Yeah, he is something special. Like you said, he's definitely going to be a millionaire.
he's making more money now probably than if he was to join a trade. I think now, maybe not quite yet, but because he doesn't get obviously all the benefits.
But look at the flexibility, though.
He's 19 years old.
Yeah.
Well, and he invested in himself.
I think when I was 19, I was cutting hair, but I was probably making, and I thought it was good. It was, obviously, I was making probably $150, $200 a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This dude's making, he's $1,000 a day. Good for you, boy.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's something to be proud of. That's excellent.
That's awesome. Well, any last things that you want to leave the viewers? Anything that's...
it's just like what you mentioned. If I don't have the answer or one of you guys don't have the answer, we know how to find the answers for any business owners that are out there that need help. Sometimes they don't even know that they need help. They think their business is like, it's the best already. But it's like, I could probably walk into your business and show you what it is that you can do to make it that much better.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I actually have been really thinking about becoming a business consultant. Like, the only portfolio I have is my own stuff, which I think that's enough to almost prove what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just more creative things though, like your logos, or put some better lighting in here, man. It's kind of dark and dim. The energy needs to be raised up a little bit.
Right.
Just small things, but like that's what I mean. Like business owners, like things may be going good, but there's certain things they can do to improve stuff. But I think, definitely reach out to Jesse, and you obviously know who to reach out to within the group that we have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I love to help out. I love to put my input, just like I said, creative things. And I think collaboration is huge too. Collaboration is huge. I had some guy come up to my barber college. He's like, hey, can I make you care if I do little tacos on Saturdays out here, you go ahead. He's busy all day long.
There you go.
You know, he's probably making $1,000. You know what I mean? I don't know, but he's got to be making over 500 for sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think I almost spent $70. You know, that was just me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like collaboration. You know, bring your business to my business for the day here. You know, and that's what you feed off each other like that. You know, sometimes businesses, they want to rent a strip, one unit by themselves. It's like, you do hair, but you don't do nails, but your friend does nails.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you see if your friend wants to throw 50-50 on the rent? It's $2,500 a month, and you want to be like in a nice strip mall. Bring somebody in with you, split the cost. Like you gotta think outside the box. But of course, you also have to trust the person you're going to do that with, because we're talking the 3-year lease, $2,500, where someone has to pay that.
Right.
You know, but
You got to be working.
Creativity goes a long way though. Usually when you hear creativity, you're thinking paper, how to draw, and no, creativity is beyond that. I mean, and I think that, you know, you put the right people together, you can find the right answers, and that's what the chamber, I think, is
A good deal.
is definitely for.
That's what we're working for. That's what I really appreciate you coming on with this. Like I said, this has been a long time in the making, and hopefully we will definitely do it again, because I think there's just so much more that we can touch base on and talk about.
We could talk all day.
We could. Anything last for you?
No, thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, send it out to your friends, your families, colleagues, anybody that you think could benefit from these. And if there's somebody that you would like to see on here, they're like, hey, you guys would benefit from this person, this group, this gal, send it to us, and we'd love to hear from you. Miguel, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Till next time.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.